Hi everyone, this is Diane. I sewed this journal together last night and I was going to put the beads on it, and then I remembered that one of my viewers requested a video showing how I attach game pieces to my cords. So I'm going to do some of that today, and hopefully we'll just do this, string these all up and have them done. But we'll talk about the game pieces. It depends on what kind of game pieces you have. The only ones that I had, I think, in that particular video that she commented on were maybe a puzzle piece. These are states from the United States, or maybe one of these little memory card tiles, and maybe one of these little pieces. I don't remember, but I can talk about all of those. So I put an eyelet in my spine and then threaded 3 threads through there, and of course they're doubled, and so there are 6 threads to put things on. So I'm going to start with, I want to start with a bezel, or not a bezel, it's a bail, B-A-I-L. I always forget what they're called. I had to look it up. So I have a bingo chip, and I do not have a Dremel drill to put a hole in it and put an eye pin in or anything. So in order to get that, so I can hang it, I bought a bag of these bails, they're called, from Amazon, and I can put a link below. And I can glue this to this and then put the thread through that. So I want to show that to you first because I unclogged my glossy accents. This is what I use to glue things like this together. I just did this one. So I thought I better show it to you while I have this glue unclogged. So I'm just going to put some glue on the flat part there. And then set my piece on it. And then let it sit. This takes a while to dry. So let me see if there are any other pieces that I might want to do that to. Just to talk about some of the pieces you can use with a bail. These are little game tiles called, it's a game called Contact, and these are very thick. So I'm not going to be punching holes in that, but I could use a bail on it. So let's do a couple of those. Let's see. Okay. I'll do about 3 of these since I have the glue out and ready. Okay, I've got 3 of those glued. What other things have I purchased recently at the flea market that I might have to attach to my spine? I have this little rooster, and he's got a hole where his eye is, but I don't think I want to put the thread right through his eye. So I could just put the bail behind him, and you can see the silver through his eye, but that's okay. I don't like to put things around the necks of living creatures like a rooster. I'm just putting the glue and then setting the piece on top, and hopefully they will dry together. I recently got these bottle caps, and of course this one will be very easy to tie on. But this one, I am not sure what I would do. I could punch a hole in the middle of it, or I don't think I could punch a hole in the top because this doesn't have enough room for that, but I could, let's see if a bail will work on this. I don't think so. So maybe I could punch a hole right here and thread through that. Might as well try it. I want the right color in case I leave it on my book. I don't know if I will leave it there. So how am I going to punch a hole down there? I don't think I can do it with this because, I don't know. Let's try it. Yeah, I bet I could. I didn't center it, but I've got a hole in it, so that would hang off of my book spine. And this is how I would do it. I would put the thread through it and then tie a knot up here. And then I'd have the rest of the thread to put something else on, or else I'd have it down near the bottom. And just tie it on. What else have I gotten? I got a bunch of Cracker Jack toys this week. Or, yeah, this past week. So this little coal container, it does not have a hole or anything in it, so I would have to attach the bail for that. I've only used the bails once or twice because I bought them quite a long time ago, and then I forgot where I put them. But now I have my beading organizer all organized, so they have their own drawer in my beading. It's a big beading organizer. So for this little shield, I would probably try to snip that off, that post off with snips, and then punch a hole or add a bail to it. The horses, you know, there's no place to put the thread through, so a bail is the answer there. And I could put the thread through one of those openings there on the binoculars. The giraffe, that would be obvious to tie a string around his neck, but I don't want to do that, so I would add a bail to him. But these, not only do they have the loop at the top of the lock, but they have the little circle at the top too, so that would be easy. This one is on a ball chain, so I would just thread that on the loop and tie it on my string and tie it. So some of them are easy and some of them require a little ingenuity. The checker would need a bail unless I had a drill that would put a hole in it. This one is a little kangaroo with a wheel at the bottom. I don't know what the wheel was for, but a bail. There's a Indian maiden. So here's something, a die, you would need a bail for that. And you could hang that off. So I think you get the idea. This has a hole already punched in it. And keychains are easy because they have this. So I recently got this one and this one. So when I use them, I'll just obviously just tie them on. These I would just tie it around this part. You might call it the neck, but it's not a person, so that would be okay with me. This is a barrette, and so I would put the thread through that little hole and then snap it closed. I think that would work. And these, I just punched a little hole. They're just thin chipboard, vintage anagram letters. The little girl with a jump rope, I would just put it through the jump rope. This is a barrette also, and again, I could put the thread through that little loop and then snap the barrette closed and hang it. So I do want to use one of these tiles and possibly one of the map puzzle pieces, because it is a back-to-school journal and we use maps. We learn how to use maps in school. So I like this little girl. I'm going to put her on my Dick and Jane journal. So I'll just take one of my threads, put it through the hole, maybe. Put it wherever you want it on the thread, and I hope this isn't too close to the camera. Then just tie a knot. And then I'll add some beads to this. A red one and a blue one. Yeah, thread doesn't want to go in that one. It's a small hole. Let's do this striped one. That's fun. And I'll do a white one. This one has a small hole. This came off a necklace. I think the other two are purchased beads from a craft store. But I do like to look for vintage necklaces that I can take apart and use. So the white bead at the bottom has a small hole, so one knot will probably be enough. The blue bead had a bigger hole, so I would probably have to tie one knot on top of that one to make it bigger, but I can pull on that and it doesn't want to slide through, so that one's good. And I think I'll put a button at the bottom. Where'd I put my buttons? Oh, I left them over there. I'll be right back. Got my buttons. So I'll just thread from behind. Wait, this is the front side. So I'll put the thread from the back and then back through the other hole. And because I won't have a bead underneath this, I'm going to tie a knot. Sometimes the buttons are so tight on there that you really work to slide them up and down. So if it's got a bead underneath it, I don't even bother tying a knot because it's not going to fall off. But with this, not having a bead under it, I'm going to try. I'll have to push it up a little higher so I have more room to tie a knot. I might not be able to do it with this little amount of thread, but I will give it an effort. Sometimes I feel so clumsy. I think we're going to get it. maybe. Just got to get this end of the thread up through the loop. There. Just didn't want to cooperate. So now I can push that button down to that thread. These buttons, you can tie a knot at both ends of the beads if you want to, but I don't. You're going to have it standing up on the shelf probably, and gravity will keep them down where they belong. Okay, now let's do one with, we'll do some beads and then we'll add a game piece or something different. I have different shades of blue, and I have red, and I have white, because that's the cover. There is kind of a, I don't know what color that is, but I didn't try to match it. I just want to focus on the blues and the reds. But then I have whites too for accents. Now this is a little felt bead, and it was strung at the craft store. And I can see where the hole is, but I cannot thread this through that felt. So I'm going to get a needle so I can string that bead on there. I think a felt bead would be fun on these fun school journals. So I'm going to put my needle on this thread, hopefully. That needle, that eye is too small. Well, I'll try, that one's pretty big. Let's try this one. See if that needle itself is too big to go through the bead. I see the hole. It doesn't matter, I could probably stick it through anywhere, but it's probably easier to go through the hole that was already there. There, see? That wasn't so bad. And I'll do a clear one. Okay, now I will add this red game piece. I'm just going to tie a knot around the neck part of it. He's down a little lower than I wanted. I have to do it on the table. And I'll tie that in a double knot. And there it is. I also have these pieces from a pick-up sticks game that I've hung on spines. I only have these two pieces left. I don't know if I'll use it on this. But I think that we should, if one of these is dry, I think that's dry enough. If I don't pull on it too much. One of my little bingo tokens. And if you put the knot at the top, I'll show you. Whoops, this one's not dry. Put the knot at the top part right here. It will hang straight down. I'll have to add more glue to that one. Okay, what do we want? Beads. I also have these plastic keychains that I ordered from Amazon in some pretty bright colors, and I've been using them on spines. This one looks like a peppermint. Can you see what I'm doing? Kind of hard to do the beading on camera. Where am I? Okay, here we are. I was getting my threads crossed. This is another large bead. Looks good. Okay, we have 3 of the threads done. Oh, just for fun, let's do one of these. It'll take that yellowish color from the cover. I think I'll just leave that one there by itself. And I'll put a couple little ones below it. This one, I think I was having trouble getting the thread in there. Yeah. This one is a silvery color. Whoops, they both fell off. I think I'll put another silvery one on underneath it. I think it's got some blue with the silver. It came strung with some blue beads. Okay, now, shall we try one of those barrettes? Let's do one of those. I'll put some beads on first. Blue one and a red one. Oh, a white one and a red one. And I'll add a blue one. Pretty. Tie a knot. You could put more threads through here, so you'll have more threads to tie beads to. You could add more beads to the threads than I'm doing. Let's try this little flower barrette. I used to wear little plastic barrettes to school. I can remember the drawer in our dining room buffet that had our barrettes in it. And we would stand there while our mother brushed our hair and put our barrettes and little ponytail holders. Do you remember, anybody remember the ponytail holders that had the hard plastic balls on the end? And if sometimes they would snap when you're trying to put them on or take them off. It would snap and that ball would hit your thumb and hurt so bad. There's the barrette. It hangs on there nicely. Something fun and interesting. It's fun to have an interesting collection on your spines. You can just, study each one. Look at it. Move things around and look at what you have there. Let's do one small bead at the bottom of this. A little red one. So a good idea, if you want to have beads very close to the bottom of your thread, is to cut your thread longer than what you want so you have room to manipulate. I usually have my threads longer than the bottom of my book, and sometimes I leave them that long. But this one I didn't cut them that long. I don't know why. So do I have, yep, I got one more thread. Maybe I'll put something bigger at the bottom of this one. Well, I didn't put one of these keychains on yet. I'll do red. I was going to switch it to blue, but if I put this on, I want a red one of these. I don't know if I will. I don't usually put two big things on one string. I have some finishing touches to do yet on this journal, but it's almost done. Put this blue clear square bead there. This is like it looks rubbery, but it's not, it's hard. Yeah, I'm not going to put the milk cap on this. Okay, so we're done. Fun, right? And I got to use one of my bales to put my bingo token on. And I punched a hole in that piece. And I didn't have to do anything extra to any of the others. All right, so there's that, and I hope that that was helpful for you. And I hope it answered the question of the person who commented. I'll see you in the next video, which might be a flip through for this journal. I'm going to do a flip through of this one and put it in my shop, and then I'll do the two pattern ones together. The two made with the sewing pattern cover. So I hope that I see you back here for another video and that you're having a creative day today. See you soon. Bye.